Hello, everybody. Hello, Francisco. Thanks for coming in the studio today.
Thank you for having me, Ed. How you doing?
Good. My pleasure. You're gone all last week. You were playing in Orange County.
Yeah.
That's funny because you're like everybody else. I'm going to L.A. And you tell me, oh, that's Orange County.
Yeah.
Because I lived down there for a long time, so I know where everything is down there. I don't know if there's a new store that showed up because it's been a while, but I just, where everything is. Because it's totally different down there than up here.
It is. It's very different.
It's a totally different world.
Yeah. No, it's, everything's so expensive too. That's what we were talking about. You're like, it's Orange County. I'm like, yeah. It's crazy though. You see like the difference of, I guess, the wealth,
Well, because I mean, the average rent's probably $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
If they rent places for $17,000 a month.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were actually visiting my girlfriend's cousin, and she got a new rental out in. It was somewhere out there in Orange County. I forgot exactly where, but she was saying she was paying. It was herself. I think it was $1,500, and there were 3 other people. So, and it was like a 1-bedroom spot. It has 1 bedroom with 2 beds on each side.
Right.
And they're paying $6,000 collectively. It's ridiculous.
That's just the way the prices are in certain places.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people complain about here and they're like, this is nothing.
Right. It was a big eye opener for sure. Because it's like, again, I mean, we have, I mean, I think it's even crazy for a 1-bedroom over here already hitting 1,000 a month, but granted, that's kind of what we were talking a little bit about off air is like, I just had a conversation with, one of my clients who reached out to me today because I spoke with him. He was very like gung-ho, ready to go. Like, I want to go out. I want to start looking, telling me what he wanted to look for and everything. So I was like, okay, like, let me get it out to you. And then I call him and he's like, hey, I just had a change of mind, spoke to his family, and he's like, I want to wait. And I'm like, that's fine. We can wait, but let me tell you, let me at least just give you some insight on what we're seeing. Right.
Right.
And he's like reconsidering it.
Sorry, I'm getting binged. So keep going.
No, you're good. But yeah, it was kind of that conversation. And a lot of people are like waiting for there to be still something to give. But unfortunately, we don't really.
There's nothing to give. There was a survey last week that said 82% of the people out there think it's a bad time to buy. And I had another one that said 75% of the people out there think there's a bad time to buy. If you flip that around, that means you only have 18% up to 25% competition right now of the people out there because people are afraid to buy. What happens is in this time, when people are scared, the smart people buy. When people are frenzy and buying crazily, the scared people sell. Meaning the people who were buying before, the smart people will be selling when people are crazy buying stuff, right? Because that's where you make your money.
Yeah.
So right now, the fact that you're afraid, that just means more people are picking up rentals.
Right. He even, kind of said like, he was like, oh, well, it's just things are too expensive. And it's like, it's the unfortunate reality is like what I told him, which is like the saddest things that I experience is pretty much when I've been trying to coach and motivate somebody to go out to buy and they're just so reluctant to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you eventually reach a point where you just can't anymore. It gets way too hard.
Well, you got to realize there's a point to where you can't help or save everyone.
Right.
And that you have to understand that we're in a market now. For 2 years, we're in a market where almost anybody could buy because the rates were so low. It had the payments so low that anybody with $45,000 a year could get into a property. That's 80,000 plus now.
Yeah.
If not 100 plus. And so that's the issue. And so unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who fall on that, the lower side of that can't buy and won't be able to buy right now, or might not ever be able to buy at that. I have some clients who came to me, they own a house right now and the brother helped them get into it and they refinanced it with the brother and then refinanced the brother off. And the only way they were able to qualify because the rates were so much lower back when they were, and we'll never see those again. So, and they were looking at buying something else, selling that house, taking $100,000 and putting it down on a bigger house in a better neighborhood. The payment was $3,200 a month. They go from 17 to 3,200. They're like, forget it.
Yeah.
I said, I can't even qualify you at that payment because of how your wife, her job, it's cash business, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that she doesn't show her tips. I'm just saying that it's cash business. I said, the only way, and with what you make, the reason you qualify is because your brother was double the income of you when you bought this originally. Your issue right now is you need to go get a better job that pays more. They're out there. They're all over the place. I said, go back to school, become an LVN or an RN, be a nurse. They make ridiculous money a year, and that's how you're going to have to qualify. In the Bay Area, nurses make 260 grand a year, right?
No,
And they barely can qualify to live there.
That's the crazy part too, is, you know, people have been having to do that, because granted, yes, the wages are better out there. But to afford a house out there, like, it's
right. They commute.
Yeah. And it's doable. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people, even when I was younger, you know, like I was commuting. I was going out to the Bay when I would go work and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's hard, but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere, right?
Right. I mean, and you got to remember, some of these, when you're younger, and he doesn't have a bad job. It just doesn't pay amazing in our area. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And that's okay. Because I know some people right now who can make $45 an hour doing sales at home and following up customer service, where most people make $25 an hour over here.
Yeah.
Right. So and that's the thing, is it's all relative to, and people are like, what? I can't do it. Go get trained, go get educated, go get something and get better jobs. We got 9 million jobs sitting there. No other time in history can you go kind of almost like, hey, can you pay me this now? Sure. No problem.
Oh, even then too. I mean, we have so much at our fingertips. Like, the internet is like the craziest thing, right?
Is
like,
it?
You know, like, that's what I tell people. It's such a great tool. And there's access to a ton of different things and different ways to even teach yourself to do, like, become a business owner or do something, right? Like, there are tons of ways. And yeah, I mean, people have had to really get, like, really start thinking outside of the box. I mean, I know, like, you know, and sometimes people don't like the whole, like, hustler mentality, right? Of, you know, doing what you can. But I mean, if you want to live in these nicer areas, you know, it's like what needs to be done.
I think some people, the younger generation, are just, and I would say you're not exactly your age, a little bit older than you, aren't used to working so much, or since the pandemic going, I don't want to do this. I only want to do that. But I remember growing up when people like, I have 2 jobs, 3 jobs. You only have that. You got 1 job. That's it. You know what I mean? It's like, and it depends on, you know, what do you want in life? Where do you want to get to? Because you want to get the house now so that you protect yourself for the future, that you have it at today's prices, not at prices next year.
Right. I think that's like one of the best ways to really put that a lot of people don't understand, that we're going to continue to, like, our values are going to keep appreciating. And that's like what's happened to a lot of people, is they, like I said, I know people that could have bought and been in a nice, comfortable home, but didn't. And, you know, it's far gone now. And it's unfortunate. It's like a really bad occurrence that does happen to some people. And it's just the complacency.
Right. Most people don't realize, but I don't want to say this is a normal market, but in a average market, not everybody can own a home.
Right.
And because of the income, again, it was so cheap. And the problem is we keep bringing it up because we were in it, and we need to stop. Because the people coming into the table have no idea these days what the payment difference or anything. They just know that it used to be there. Right. And it'll never be back at that rate.
Right. But even then, I mean, it is all relative, because granted, you know, because I know some people are like, oh, like, you know, the prices are so cheaper before, but I mean,
cheaper when?
Well, like, you know, before like 2010, stuff like that.
Right? Yeah, but you got to remember, okay, so let's look back from 2008 on, there was a ton of foreclosures, right? A lot of people lost houses. It was a horrible time, but then a lot of people bought those houses for $100,000 and some for, you know, $150,000 to $200,000, which are, those houses are worth $600,000-700,000 today. And that was an opportunity, but the same opportunity people ran from.
Yeah, a lot.
They were afraid. Oh, it's horrible. The market's going to keep going down. No, our bottom was December of 2008 was our bottom in this area. And then we went up from there. And that's where we are now. The average equity, everybody has equity in their home.
Yeah.
Even people bought last year have equity in their home.
Right. I see it myself, even just, you know, we even see it just the way that, like, the multiple offers are driving prices up by, like, the weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not letting off.
Because because we have no inventory.
Right.
And that's the issue. We have people, and we said this before, and we're a broken record. People in rates where they don't have to do anything, or will they do anything? And the problem is they've increased their credit card debt so much, they're dying on their credit card debt.
Yeah, I know. Like it's the argument a lot of people make are like, oh, the only people buying right now are the people that need to, or the people that are downsizing or whatever, right?
Well, I say the argument is just lifestyle, divorces, deaths, and that's, it's somebody who's changing jobs.
Right. And that's the argument too, that like, excuse me, no matter what, things are gonna keep moving.
Mhm.
Like I mean, the pandemic happened and everyone thought the world was gonna end. Look at what happened. It was like
It didn't.
I tell, well, not even just that, but I tell people like, man, that time it was like fun. Like there was like a chase and a hunt to trying to get like people accepted in a contract. Like you had to be really aggressive. And it was a really fast paced time, on a time where people were like, no, things are going to drop. And a lot of the times, I mean, no matter what, you need a roof over your head. There's going to need to be, and it's like I tell everybody, because a lot of people, it's always the big, like, I'm paying $2,000 right now, or I'm paying $1,500 right now, and I don't want to go up to the $3,000 and $3,500 or whatever. But you got to stop looking at it as like, oh, I'm paying an extra $1,000, and you got to see it as on the back end, I'm dumping $2,000.
No, you're now, instead of throwing money away, you're actually putting towards your future.
Yeah,
there's a difference. People before, and I said this before, people before would go, okay, it's the same to buy. It's a little bit cheaper to buy than rent. Well, so it's no brainer. Then it became, all right, it's the same payment as rent. Okay, it's still no brainer. Then it started getting more expensive. And then they're like, oh, do I really make that move, or do I just stay here? And we've said this, it's easier for people to not do anything than potentially make a mistake. But the only mistake they're making is by not acting. That's the mistake.
Yeah. And let's say something happens, right? Something happens and you can't make that payment. There's so much like, or, stuff that gets forgiven. And, like on top of it too, like you can still sell it.
Right. We have the lowest foreclosure rate since 1979.
Right.
And that's saying a lot compared to, because inflation is so bad right now that is causing a lot of people not to have any money.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. Because if I got into trouble, I could sell my house tomorrow and walk away with cash.
Right.
Yes, I'd have to rent, and it would be a horrible neighborhood. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing, is that, and I talk to a lot of people nowadays too, like people that have just been like looking, like thinking, oh, like I want to like now rent my place and buy something. So there's arguably still a ton of opportunity out there. It's just that people, understandably, I get it. There's that fear, but I think it's just really like clouding the judgment a lot, that they just think that it's no longer even a good idea to buy, which is wrong thinking. I mean, it's one of the best investments you'll make.
And again, go get my book, getedsbook.com. Go there, get my book, read it. It's going to explain all this to you. But the biggest issue is stop worrying about making a mistake. If it was so bad, investors would not be buying like they're buying. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, is people are looking for houses that are bad. I mean, look at the house on Tully and Orangeburg.
Right.
Someone paid not a ton of money for it. There wasn't a lot of people bidding on it. But now everybody wants to tell them how they should build it back.
Right.
Right. It's like, you can never win in this market, no matter what you're doing. So,
yeah.
Because they're like, oh my God, they're putting stucco on it. It's not your house. You didn't buy it. Move on.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that house has been there for so long, but no matter what, I mean, even like a quirky occurrence like that, there's always value in it. Like no matter what.
The issue with that house is that whoever had it before wasted money on paint, and he paid $10,000 to have it half-ass painted, and didn't have it done. Not knocking the painters, but it was never taken care of. It's an old a house needed to be gutted and redone or torn down. Everybody's like, it should have a historical. No, there's no historical right there. Downtown, not right there though.
So, yeah, no, 100. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb.
Right. Clean it up and make it look nice right by the school. Be good for somebody to, have something there. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a good after school program house.
Right. No, you should have bought it.
No way.
No.
I don't. My kids are gone. I don't want anybody. We at Rotary, we had the Stanislaus County Teachers of the Year there. And I told them, thank you so much for what you guys do, because we send our kids to you, and it takes a unique individual to take care of our kids all day long because we don't want to. Right. I mean, we don't. I mean, you got to go somewhere. Otherwise we go crazy. Anyway, stop waiting. Stop looking at this market. It's going to drop, go down. It's not. We're 2.5 million homes short in California. Just California. We're not going to make those up anytime soon. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get so much worse before it gets better. Worse meaning that that multiple offers, less houses on the market, that whole thing worse. Not it's going to fall apart. It's not going to fall apart. Rates are going to go up probably the next couple of months, and then we're going to start seeing them go down. What does that mean? It's not just you out there looking right now like you are right now. If you go out and look, it's pretty much you and a couple people. By then, it's going to be you and 10 people. And then next year when rates go lower, it's going to be you and 40 people. So that's what's happening. You're going to see a lot more people coming out of the woodwork as rates go down. That's going to happen next year. Second quarter of next year, they're thinking Fed's going to start lowering rates. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, stop waiting. Yes. Yeah. Get in the house now. Take advantage of the refinances later, because you cannot get the prices back. You can get rates back, but not prices.
Yeah, and that's what I keep preaching to everybody. So hopefully, whoever's listening, you guys, reach out to us with any of these kind of questions, whatever it may be, and we'll help guide you there. And I mean, nowadays too, it's like I say, it's a no-brainer to go to us and like start to get a game plan going. You have nothing to lose. And we're actually here trying to help you, get there.
Right. And the big difference these days is like before people were begging us to help them get into homes. Now it's like we're begging them to let us help them get in. Please let us help you get into a home. Yeah. Let us protect you. Let us help you get into a home, because you need to get into a home. And the one thing we're trying to do is get you in a house so that your payment doesn't move except go down over time, not up. Where you are right now, your payment's going to go up over time, period. Yeah. And a lot of people are waiting for lower rates so that their payment's lower. Yeah, but at what point payments rate lower, house value higher, is they're going to have the same payment?
Yeah.
You follow me?
Right now, there's good opportunity to like make you comfortable until you get to those nice rates, temporary rate buy downs.
And the issue is going to nice rates. What's nice rates? Rates are relative. Right. Because what's nice a rate? Anything lower than 21%, it depends on when you're from.
Right.
All right. We don't want to be beating this all day for another 20 minutes, but you need to get out there and stop worrying about it. The smart people are buying, period.
Yeah. Take action, people.
Yes, please. All right. Make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Francisco, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for watching and what you do. So if you like what we do here, subscribe to our YouTube channels. Mine's Ed Parcaut, Real Estate Jerky, and then you're Francisco Ruvalcaba Jr. All right. Make it a great day.
Take care.